Morning, sixth graders. This is just an introduction video about a project that we're going to be working on for probably the next 5 class periods. Okay, so we are going to take a kind of a large project and chunk it up into little digestible pieces that we can do a little bit a day on. Okay, and so what I have on this first document that I have posted on the Google Classroom, I have a couple things highlighted here that we are going to talk about. Okay, so this whole project talks about discovering patterns or talks about how the periodic table is arranged. We are only going to be focusing in on the first 18 elements to discover these patterns or discover why things are arranged the way they are. All right. And so we are only dealing with, if we look at the periodic table, hydrogen all the way through argon. Those are the only ones we're concentrating on right now. We don't have to worry about any of these other ones. By arranging these and kind of studying how each of these elements, the structure of each of these elements, and why they are where they are on the periodic table, we will gain enough information to know that that pattern repeats itself underneath. Okay, so we just need to worry about hydrogen through argon for this particular one. All right, the first part of the project says to complete the element cards for each element by writing in the element symbol, the atomic number, and the atomic mass. Well, if you are here in class with me, you are going to be getting a couple sheets that have 18 of these elements that are all listed right there, and we are going to be cutting these out. Okay? If you are a distance learner and you're working on this at home and you have a printer, go ahead and print these out. That's going to be really helpful to you. If you don't have a printer, I'm going to show you how to do it without either of those things, okay? We're just going to take a piece of paper and make a little card for each of these 18 first elements, all right? So let's pretend that you are not in class and you just need to do this on a piece of paper at home, okay? So I just have a piece of regular printer paper here. You could use notebook paper, that's cool too. I'm going to fold it into quarters. All right. Fold it into quarters like this. And I am just going to treat each one of these boxes as one of these boxes. All right, so we will go through and we're going to do this first one, boron, together. Okay, so I would copy down kind of the format of what I see here. I know that the symbol for boron is a capital B. I will write the name underneath it. We are also calculating how many protons, neutrons, and electrons there are. This one is actually done for us, so that's pretty easy. Okay, and then we have a Bohr diagram where we have 2 electrons in the first shell and we have 3 in the second. Okay, and so on my piece of paper, if I were just doing this on a piece of paper, I would have I'm just going to copy the same format that is on those cards onto each of these squares. Okay, and notice that I didn't do the Lewis, what's called the Lewis structure. That's in the bottom corner here. We're not doing that yet because we haven't talked about it yet. All right, so for our first step, we are just going through and we're making one of these quarter sheets of paper for each one of those 18 elements that are listed. And again, if you are in class with me, you are going to get a copy of these. All right. So for instance, on the next one, if you're doing one of these,
your attention, please.
you
Haley
will.
Wise, please come to the office. Haley Wise.
write helium here. We would write an He. It's a 2. Okay, just like that. I would write my number of protons, neutrons, and electrons right here, and I would make my Bohr diagram right here. Okay? So on the instructions, if I go back here to this first part here, it says complete the element cards for each element by writing in the element symbol, the atomic number, and the atomic mass. Okay, that's what this is right here. The atomic name is already given to you. Here's the atomic symbol, the atomic number, and the atomic mass. Then you're going to calculate the number of protons, neutrons, and electrons that each have. Okay, that goes right here. Then you are going to create a Bohr diagram for each of them, and that is right here. Okay, that's going to take you a while, guys. Going through for all 18 of those and doing just those few things, just following this format right here. If you're doing this at home on your own piece of paper, follow this format right here. If you're not doing it on your own piece of paper, if you're able to print this out, or if you're in class with me, you'll get a copy of this, and your job is going to be to find out what is the atomic number for helium, what is the atomic symbol for helium, what is the atomic mass for helium, how many protons, neutrons, and electrons are in helium, and then what does the Bohr diagram look like for helium. All right? I want you to go ahead and give this a shot, and I'm going to make another video to kind of bring us to the next step. All right, so I know that these instructions have a lot more stuff on it. Again, we are going to break this up into little chunks. So the first thing I want you to do is just to make a card like this for each of those 18, minus this part, because we haven't talked about the Lewis structure yet. Okay? Have fun, and I will talk to you soon.